Are you struggling with your VSTEP writing score? You ever feel like you're just writing into a black hole, crossing your fingers and hoping the examiner likes your style? Well, today we're going to flip on the lights. Welcome. In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain on the official VSTEP writing rubric and show you exactly what you need to do to get a higher score. Okay, so let's just dive right in. This is the big question, isn't it? What is that person on the other side of your test paper actually looking for? Is it, beautiful, poetic language, perfect, flawless grammar, a mind-blowing argument? Well, the truth is, it's kind of all of those things, but it's measured in a way that's surprisingly clear and, believe it or not, objective.
And here's the thing, the secret isn't really a secret at all. It's published for everyone to see, right here in the official VSTEP scoring guide. You can think of this document as the examiner's playbook. It lays out exactly how they grade your writing. So it just makes sense, right? If we can understand this guide, we can figure out exactly how to get the score we want.
The very first thing you have to realize is that VSTEP scoring isn't about some examiner's personal opinion. It's not magic, it's not luck, it's a system. A really clear, structured system that's designed to be as fair as possible. And once you understand how that system works, you can start making it work for you.
I want you to think of your final writing score like a building. It doesn't just rest on one single point. Instead, it's held up by 4 really strong pillars. Now, if one of those pillars is weak, the whole building gets shaky. But if you make sure all 4 are solid, your score becomes strong, stable, and high. Understanding these pillars is what gives you control.
So what are these pillars? Let's go ahead and lay the foundation for your success by looking at the 4 official criteria that every single VSTEP writing response, and I mean both Task 1 and Task 2, is judged on. And here they are: task fulfillment, organization, grammar, and vocabulary. Every single point you can possibly earn is divided up between these 4 areas, and they're all equally important, so you can't just ignore one and hope the other 3 will carry you. So let's take a closer look at what each of these pillars really means.
First up, we have task fulfillment. Honestly, this is the most basic fundamental pillar. It's really just asking one simple question. Did you do exactly what they asked you to do? Did you answer every single part of the question? If the prompt says, discuss 2 different views and then give your own opinion, did you do all 3 of those things? It's all about being complete and staying on topic.
Next up, organization. Think of this as the skeleton of your essay. Is it logical? Does one idea flow smoothly into the next? Examiners are looking for clear paragraphs where each one has its own main idea, and they want to see you using linking words to guide the reader through your thoughts. Pillar number 3, grammar. Now this one is about 2 key things: accuracy and range. Of course, you want to avoid mistakes, but just writing simple, perfect sentences isn't going to get you a top score. The rubric is super clear that it rewards writers who can use a variety of complex structures, things like conditional sentences or relative clauses, and use them correctly.
And our final pillar is vocabulary. Just like with grammar, this is about both range and precision. Are you using the right word in the right situation? Are you able to use some less common words without making a mistake? For example, instead of always saying something is good, maybe you could use beneficial or advantageous. That's what shows a higher command of English.
Okay, so now we know the 4 pillars, but how does that actually translate into the score you get? I mean, what really separates a pretty good score from a great one? Let's look at the actual language from the rubric to see how you can climb that ladder.
Okay, let's put grammar under the microscope. At a band 5, a writer is using a limited range of structures, and their mistakes can actually make it hard for the reader to understand. But look at the jump to band 7. Now the expectation is a variety of complex structures and frequent error-free sentences. The big takeaways here is the shift from just being understood to showing real control and variety.
And guess what? We see the exact same pattern with vocabulary. A band 5 writer has a limited vocabulary, and again, they're making mistakes that might confuse the reader. But a band 7 writer? They have a sufficient range for flexibility and precision. So how do you make that jump? It's all about going from just having enough words to having the right words and knowing how to use them flexibly.
This table just makes it all so clear. The move from being a competent writer to an advanced one is all about going from adequate to full, from organized to having clear progression, from having some errors to few errors, and from an adequate vocabulary to a flexible and precise one. It's all about control, clarity, and sophistication. So which side of this table do you want to be on? All right, a quick but really important point here. You have 2 different writing tasks on the VSTEP exam. Now, the 4 scoring pillars we just talked about, They apply to both tasks. But their mission, what you're actually supposed to be doing, is totally different.
Let's see how this works in practice. For task 1, you're basically a reporter. Your job is to describe and present information, point out the key features from a chart, or respond to a letter. But for task 2, you're a persuader. Your job is to argue a point of view with really clear, well-supported ideas. See? Same pillars, totally different game.
So now that you know the rules for both games, how do you actually get better? I mean, knowledge is great, but it's kind of useless without action, right? So let's turn everything we've learned into a real, concrete plan to boost your score.
Here it is, your simple 3-step action plan. First, self-assess. After you write your next practice essay, I want you to be the examiner. Use these 4 pillars and be honest with yourself. Which one is holding you back? Step 2 is targeted practice. Don't just practice writing. If your grammar pillar is wobbly, then you need to specifically drill complex sentences. If vocabulary is the issue, focus on building topic-specific word lists. And finally, step 3. Get specific feedback. Don't just ask a teacher, is this good? Ask them, hey, based on the rubric, how's my organization? Can you give me some feedback specifically on my task fulfillment? Use the language of the rubric.
And really, that's what this all boils down to. The VSTEP writing test is a game, and it has very clear rules. By understanding the scoring rubric, the rules of the game, you have already taken the most important step towards winning. You are no longer writing in the dark.
So the key takeaway is this. You now have the map. The same map the examiners use. You know what they're looking for, and you know how they measure it. The only question left is, which pillar are you going to start strengthening first? The power is officially in your hands. Your journey to a higher score starts right now.